So, good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, the 2nd of March. We are all gathering at this time to do this evening chanting and also show our respect and veneration to the Buddha for his kindness and compassion towards all beings. And we are fortunate that despite he passed away 2,600 years ago, 2,569 years ago, we have this opportunity to learn the teachings that leads us to find out our own self and also find ways to liberate ourselves. So thank you everyone for coming to join this evening chanting. And it is also a time that we give to ourselves, reflection, as well as giving time for ourselves to reflect. And this reflection really helps us to find out that throughout the days of working this and working that, it is a moment of put everything down and just reflecting. This is the moment to know our own self. So this afternoon, Yvonne and I also went around distributing this West Hill Bulletin to 25 houses around this area, which I have a volunteer to do it every 3 months' time. And we met a beautiful lady, very kind-hearted neighbor. So we had a long chat about the area, about the life, and what things we should do. And she has been here in this area for over 40 years. She knows that how this area been developed. She was telling that the West Hill Drive, back then all the ducks were flying over, walking around this the road, and a very limited access and small compared to now. And meeting neighbors is beautiful, and also knowing the area. So it's quite a good one. We walked, Yvonne said, 7.5 miles. So it was a good walk, a very good walk. And we saw lots of fish in the pond as well. Red fish, beautiful. I wonder how they survive during the winter time. So this is a day, and now this is the time after this many things that we have done, and then this is the moment before we go to bed and reflecting that there are things that when we do, it becomes easy, and there are things when we, despite of it doing so hard and yet to get the result of it. And there are things that despite of putting much effort, just giving the intention to do that, and the task just simply become done. There are these types of things too. And when we moved into this place initially, it wasn't easy. All the neighbors weren't happy, but it took time, patiently working and patiently being here. Now we become a part of the community. So it's a journey isn't the easy one. Same in our life too. Sometimes when we want too much, then when the condition hasn't been mature enough, then that task won't fulfill. It's like we plant a fruit tree, and then very next day we want to see the fruit of it. So that doesn't work. So it requires a persistency and then a continuation, and also all the conditions should mature. Only then that fulfills. So in the Buddha's teaching, there are 4 different types of a success, or success or not successful, whatever task we do. So if I remember correctly, the first one is called Dukkha Patipada Dukkha Vinya, which means that someone has to work so hard, day and night, and yet it's very difficult to gain the fruit out of that. And that is the first one. Yeah. So in our life also, there are certain things that we really want to do it and really want to have it. And then we try our best in a different ways, in many forms, and yet we could not see the success in that. So this is the first one, working hard and also hard to gain the result of that work. It's like there was a monk. He meditated and wanted to be enlightened for many times. So he practiced meditation, and he goes on to the different stages of a meditative states. And then somehow he stuck. He's stuck in that moment. And then he realized, he thought that I am always stuck at this level. What's going on? And he tried for 7 times, and at the 7th time he gave up. And he thought that, okay, this is not my thing. Now I'm not going to be enlightened. So rather than living, I better cut myself and die, like a suicide. So he takes his knife and then cut his throat. While he was cutting, he was contemplating on that, the pain, the cutting and the pain. While he was cutting that, somehow he was able to contemplate so deep in that pain, he was enlightened. That's called hard working and hard to attain the enlightenment. So that was the similar things in life. Sometimes we work so hard and very difficult to attain or fulfilled in our life. Like in my own case, I wanted to learn English language back then, like 20 years ago, and I tried so many ways, and it was so hard. It was so hard learning English, and then I always thought that why this English is so hard. And it took so many years, and I spent so many time or so long to study, but mostly self-study. And then now when I came to UK, when I was in Wolverhampton, again I spent a lot of time watching the movies, so being a bad boy, bad monk, watching the movies, English movies, and watching the BBC4, just to get used to with the English language. And somehow I picked up English language, and now it became kind of my a second language that I've been talking much of the time, and still can't express like Gavin do. There's so many slangs and things that are still very difficult to get. So like that, Uh, and then there are some cases that, like my own niece, I have been trying for her to go to the abroad and study because of her father's condition, and I try in a different ways. Somehow her luck is not there. Could not go to abroad at all. And I feel so sorry for her. Like I sponsored her to study the nursing, and spent almost £1,000, and somehow in the end she wasn't able to attend for the examination, and then she could not find the avenue to come over in the UK like that. And then she was trying to go to Japan, and I sponsored her to go and study Japanese, but somehow she could not pass. So like that. Sometimes it's very, very difficult. Like that happened. But anyway, so this is the first type of a group that, first type of a things that sometimes we work so hard and so difficult to get the result of that. So and then the second one called a dukkha patipada sukha binya. That means, so maybe my case, the learning English or even establishing this one maybe comes under the second one actually. So working hard and gaining attaining the success. So the first one is, second one is working hard, and after working hard, bearing a fruit. So it's like a farmers, it's like a farmers. They work very, very hard, and then after a couple of months later, there is harvesting. And harvesting time is like a beautiful, wonderful thing. And this actually reminds me a story in China. Maybe this is common to anywhere else actually. So if you plant a bamboo seed, so this bamboo seed will not come out from the from the earth, and it takes like at least 4 years maturing inside the soil, working so hard, and after 4 years it just comes, it just sprouts, and every day it sprouts so fast, and that's how bamboo becomes so tall. Similar in our life as well. Sometimes we have to work very, very hard, and then we receive the benefit, we receive the fruit. It's like we are studying in the university. You work so hard. There are moments that you don't want to study anymore, and then okay, a little bit, and you get some encouragement, and you go on, and then you finished your journey. Like when I was studying this PhD, first year I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop because of the distance, and because I have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then after finish the study again, members of a community visiting here and working with them for a whole day, like that, for Saturday and Sunday, like that. And on a Monday I was like flattened, no energy, nothing, was like that. So I thought that, okay, I'm not going to study. And then somehow my friend encouraged me to study. And then I studied again. And then after I studied, there was a problem with the finance. I have to pay for the fees, each term, like about over £1,000. And then, I'm going to pay it. So I didn't pay for about 2 years, studying without paying. And then in between, there were like a second year, I thought that, okay, I don't have money, I better give up. And then I didn't attend the class for 1 or 2 days. And then again, my friend encouraged me to continue. And my friend paid me like in a loan base, so she paid for me. So I continued that. And then after finishing the coursework, writing a thesis, now I'm living here and my supervisors are living in Thailand. It was so difficult. It was so difficult. I didn't have any advisors. Even my friends are all in Thailand. And then more difficult that my friends, they do not understand English much compared to me, and I was writing in English, they were writing in Thai, so they cannot help me. I was a lots of things like, okay, and then the construction of this building was going on, and then there was, even building this building at that time was a problem of a finance. There was a shortage of a 40,000. There was so many things, and I thought, oh, I better give up. I will study later. It's okay, like that. And then somehow later on again, my supervisors pressed me, saying that complete it. And then my friend again helped me, paid off. Then that's how. And then after that. I went on to write the thesis, and after I wrote the thesis, there was so many paperworks to do, so many paperworks. I didn't know how to complete those paperwork. So as a result, I went back to Thailand for 3 days, and I did all the paperwork, and all my supervisors were very helpful, friends were very helpful. They all came and helped me, and I feel so glad that they were all there to help me, and I never gave up after that. So eventually managed to complete like that. So this is called hard working, but because of the continuation, and obviously ups and downs are there, but didn't give up, and then with the encouragement I received, managed to complete. And then last year become a doctor. I do not feel a doctor yet. So that's called the second part, that working hard and then receiving the fruit. Now the third one is Sukha Patipada Dukha Pinya, which means sometimes people working feels that it's easy, and I can do it, no problem. But despite of doing that, not receiving the results. And this can be another example too. Sometimes people think that, oh, I can do it, and then didn't pay attention to it, and do not put much interest on it, and then you didn't get the result of it. Or sometimes you become a heedless, that, oh, it's a piece of cake, no problem. And this again, I can give my own example. When in 2010, I think so, 2010, before I came up to Aberdeen, so 2010, we were doing this Life in the UK test. Life in the UK test, were 3 of us doing it. And among the 3, I was the one who knows English much more than them. So we prepared, and I kind of memorized entire book. And I was giving a tuition for them. I was helping them, and then we booked the exam. But during that time, you have to wait for another 2 months, and I was so heedless. I was in a perception that I remember all, no problem at all. So there are you have to remember 1,000. I think if roughly 1,400 questions are there at that time. So in that 1,400 questions, you have to answer 25. That's it. Random questions, it will come 25. And you have to pass 23, I think, if I remember. And then I was so heedless. I was like, oh, it's a piece of cake. I have remember all of them. I know. And we went to exam test, and I did it within 7 minutes or 8 minutes. So confident. And I was so confident that I will be fine. Result?
Fail.
You're fail. You fail. So like that, so you're so you feel that so confidence that I am okay, but you are not. Same like last year when I had to when I go for a PhD in the test, sorry, the final examination. One of the requirements was I have to submit the IELTS English qualification test certificate, which I haven't done it. And despite I used the qualification from Aberdeen University, my master's, but they didn't accept that you must have it. And I didn't prepare. I thought that it'd be okay because I've been reading in English, writing in English, it'd be okay. And it was so hard. As time was like ticking so hard, and then I didn't know what to do. The reading part was like everything blank. I didn't know how to answer them. Then I just sat down and then I just closed my eyes and then I meditated. Rather than doing exam, I just meditated. Cool. So after I became a little panicked, so I just wanted to cool myself down, and I meditated. When I realized that my heartbeat slows down, my mind cleared, then I looked at the paper, and then I did it very slowly, and somehow by the time I managed to complete that paper, whole paper, and I am passed in a sense that I got a 6.5. I needed only 6. Oh, so, and after finish the exam, I thought that, oh, it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be passed. So I was planning another test, and now this time I'm reading. It's like a horse already left now. I'm worried about the fences. But somehow, after a month later, result came. Oh, you got a 6.5. Whew. Like that. So this is how it happens. So that's why do not be hateful. Doesn't matter, how qualified you are. Doesn't matter how much you know about it. Make sure that you have checked the text boxes and all the boxes, and then you will be able to get the good results. So this is called easy, but hard to regain, hard to get the benefit or the results. And in this also case, now I think there are many who are born in a wealthy family and they think that everything is easy, but not, and they fail a lot. So that's also the thing. And then the last one is Sukha Patipada, Sukha Binya. So that means that someone doesn't have to do much. It's like a piece of cake, and the result also is there. And this type of a people requires a lot of previous accumulated merits that someone has already worked hard in the past and have accumulated those merits in it, and then somehow it just clicks and then receive the benefit. So in our life as well, sometimes there are things that so easy you receive it, and sometimes so easy that, oh, how could it happen like that? It just happens. So that's why these are the 4 different types. Like now this reminds me of one story. It comes from the scripture. There was one ascetic. He was traveling through the ocean, and then the ship wrecked due to the storm, and then somehow he managed to swim and saved himself, and he walked through the jungles, and he lost everything. He didn't have any clothes to wear, so when he reached the village, so he just used the leaves to cover his shameful places. So he went into the village, and in the village he started, because of the hunger, he ate something that was thrown away, and villagers thought, what a ascetic is this, not wearing even a piece of a cloth, and eating what has been thrown away. So villagers thought that this must be a holy man. This must be a holy man. So they started to pay, respect, and brought him food, and then even the cloth. And then he thought, because they are respecting me because I'm not wearing a cloth. So whoever brings the cloth, he just rejects. Rather, he will use the barks or a plant. With that, villagers even got, wow, he is a really detached person. He is a really noble one, holy one. He doesn't attach to even just clothes. So he got even more respect, and he thought that, oh, he's enlightened one, because everybody respect him. But somehow he was told that you are not a holy one. You are not a noble one. You better go to see the Buddha. Buddha is there. At the very moment, the story says, when he heard the word Buddha, he felt shaken, trembled, and very next day he wanted to go and see him, the Buddha. So next day he rushed to the Jetavana monastery, and then he didn't know who was the Buddha. There were monks sweeping around and walking meditation, and then he went to, are you a Buddha? No, Buddha is on his arms, so collecting the food, Pindapata. And which direction? So, okay, go that direction towards the village. So this man goes, and this ascetic runs towards the Buddha, and then ask the Buddha to teach him. And the Buddha say, wait a minute, I am on the Pindapata. Go and wait. And then he say, he wasn't stopping there. He was very adamant that teach me something. And then he begged again the second time, and Buddha said, no, wait, I am on Pindapata. Again, and no, a third time. And then the fourth time, and then the Buddha, what's going on his mind? So then the Buddha closed his eyes and looked at him, his future, and realized that he had a very limited time. He's going to die soon. And he is capable of understanding the Dhamma. So then the Buddha taught him. It's called a Dite Dita Matang, Sute Sutta Matang, Mute Mutta Matang Bhavisati. So seeing just the seeing, hearing just the hearing, knowing just the knowing, there is no me, there is no mine. If you understand that, then there won't be any suffering. Like that. Clicked. Clicked. He became enlightened. So he was the person that hearing a short Dhamma and then enlightened. So that easy for him. And obviously, he was practicing, and there's a detachment thing, so practicing for a long time. So after hearing these teachings, straight away, he became enlightened. unfortunately, his time was off. So when he went to find the cloth, a big bull came and speared him in death on the spot. Okay. So this is the one story that suggests that if someone has accumulated enough causes, and even just the slightest thing, we will be able to get that done. There is another simile. It's like a hair blocking the mountain. Only matter is to take the hair out from the sight and you see the mountain like that. So that's why in our life, whenever we come across with the difficulties, whenever we come across with these challenges, never be upset. Just patiently working on that. Sometimes we may have to use our energy. Sometimes we may have to use the power. Sometimes we may have to use the spiritual powers. Other times we may have to ask the help from our neighbors, help from our senior people, or help from someone who knows about it. Sometimes just we have to wait. So there is no fixed rule that whenever these challenges comes, we have to do it this way, and then we're gonna be complete and get the result of it. The important is the patience, and now we have schedules. Okay, working on that, patiently working, and working along with that schedule doesn't mean that we will be successful, and we always have to put this mindful gap. If we have a mindful gap, then we will not be disappointed. So that's the Dhamma that we can reflect in our day-to-day life. So I offer this as a reflection for tonight. With this, may you all have a good understanding and find the right path to free yourself.